What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of The Kevin Show, first show of 2016. Today, we have somebody who was with us last season and was in the longest episode, which was broken into two parts, if you remember, both parts totaled over 3 hours. This is someone who has really became my friend since then, close friend. Everybody, Heavyhauler 16, aka Tyler.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So, yeah, he has something exciting coming up, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But first off, the views expressed in this show are our own views and do not reflect the views of the Model News group or anybody associated with it, even though half of them really just don't care, do they?
Yeah, probably not.
Anyways, so yeah, also there will be mild to moderate language, so, expect it. So, if you have parents that don't approve of you watching videos with cussing, plug in some headphones now.
I'll try to be careful. I am Canadian. Just keep that.
Yes. Everybody remembers him from his friendship with Nigel,
Yeah,
aka that asshole that ripped on everybody.
yeah. But anyways, he's gone and I'm changed, so we're here. So carry on.
Yeah, he's not an asshole towards me anymore, so he's
Yeah.
changed. So yeah, if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, if you do not remember, then you have Alzheimer's disease. I guarantee it. We had the 24-hour live stream, and it was a great show. And I actually made it the complete distance this time. We did have some technical issues, but thanks to Jesse Reese for stepping in and becoming the savior of the 24. So yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot, Jesse. Even though he fell asleep on several different occasions, which was quite funny. But I also got to thank Ethan for doing a 11-hour and 40-minute stint. Just 20 more minutes, he would have made it to halfway. And then also I got to thank MEH Diecast. He pulled a super stint. He pulled an 8.5 hour stint on the show, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, nothing from Tyler.
Oh no, I'm just letting you clue it up, just because
and
I was
then we
involved.
and
I wish I could have been, but I wasn't.
he was drunk,
I was not.
supposedly. So
Caught me at a
any
bad.
hmm?
Caught me at a bad time.
Yeah, and then we had Diecast Emporium who pulled a 6 and something hour stint. But here's the thing, though, he had to go to work. But we did get to know that he's flown one of those super cool drones,
I want one of those really bad.
the kind that drops missiles.
Okay, one of those too.
Oh boy, you want a
Whatever.
drone, then you want a drone that drops missiles.
That'd be cool though. Maybe both.
Yeah, Tommy's. Well, I didn't say his last name. Tommy's
Oh,
flown one of those ones that drop missiles, which he told us on the show. And by the way, you can go watch it on twitch.tv/Model News 101. But yeah, I am working on a highlight show really to give the funniest moments, and also we're working on a fuck montage. Because there was over 700 times during that show I said fuck, which is a pretty good record for me right now. But we also gave that 365 away to 320 DLRR. Congratulations to him. He was on one of the shows. I think it was like episode 10 or 11 or something like that. So yeah, congratulations once again, even though it was 2 weeks ago.
we
But
need to
yeah,
keep going for sure.
but it's a whole new year, and well, what models do we want to see in 2016? I'll let Tyler go first.
Okay, so this is something that I've been wanting to see for years. I don't think we're gonna see it anytime soon, at least, but who knows? Um, I've always wanted to see like bigger size Komatsu excavators, like basically anything bigger than a 490, because
And you know what's
like
ironic?
what's that?
The picture for the background, obviously we have the, a picture for the background. It's usually a piece of equipment, right?
Yes.
The picture for the background is a PC 490.
All right on.
Yeah, and I almost got my new car stuck in mud getting that picture.
Good job.
I mean, it is me after all, right?
Yep, that's right.
But
I'm sure Joe would agree. But um, so yeah, like a 600, 650, whatever the current model number is. I'm not even really up to date on the Komatsu line right now. Um, you know, uh, I don't know, even a cat that size really.
I mean, like we talked about this the other night that we have had seen some excavators in that size, like the 365s, being the 365B and the 365 CFS,
We have. It'd just be nice to see some current models.
and
You
we've
know,
had seen a couple Lee Bears here and there, obviously.
yeah, Lee Bears are probably one of the only ones.
I mean, NZG is always on top of it. Like they give us pretty much everything.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah, I agree. It'd be nice to see some of the more 50 to 75 ish ton weight class excavators and models. I mean, we had the 374, but you
yeah. The
know,
374 was I don't know. It does match what I'm requesting though. I can't say it doesn't.
and I mean, I don't know like what people's opinions are on that model because I got something just maybe like a little bit better with a 390.
Yeah,
But I mean, if you want a smaller size 390 and call it or whatever, and a cheaper version especially, get the 374.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, the 374, it's been out for a while. I didn't Cranes Etc. do a review of
So
it.
and then there's the dying need of Zero Tails, which we are gonna be
Finally,
replenished with,
they're
but
finally they're
you know,
finally listening to us.
it's just basically the patient wait for the 335s now.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be out second quarter from the reports we've heard, but it's Diecast Masters and they haven't proved anything to us yet, so I kind of have my doubts.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, get ready for anything yet, but it's nice that it's announced.
And it's nice that it's in the plans. I mean, at least there's that.
Yeah, and along with the D9T, which I'm also a huge fan of. Um,
Yes, I mean we barely ever see D9s.
that's something we haven't seen since the NZG days, if I'm not. Well, besides, in 1 to 50 scale.
I mean we
Um,
did get that D9 from North Scott that is in 187 scale that maybe
yeah.
MEH would be
Besides
interested in.
the D9L that CCM made a few years ago, and I mean, yes, I really wish I had that piece, but I it wasn't it just cut that the past few CCM models that came out, they caught me at the wrong time when they were released, and there was just no way I could get them. And I really regret it, but that's just the way it worked out. So it sucks.
Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah. Now, quality wise, we obviously have no idea how these are going to turn out because let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest, Diecast Masters has never released a
Yeah,
model, and now that they got the Big Cat license, which is all honesty, model wise, is really the big go, especially for America. Now, if you're watching in Europe, it's probably gonna be more like Lee Bear or something like that. But
yeah,
I mean, let's put it this way: this is gonna be a challenge for them. I cannot see how remotely it's not gonna be a challenge because you got the biggest manufacturer in the world, and we're going off, and like we're saying this off of like how much money they bring in a year and all that sort of stuff.
mm-hmm.
Second's Komatsu, third is Deer, I believe.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
I mean, even though Caterpillar has had its struggles in late 2015, I mean they had to let a bunch of people go, from what I've heard,
yeah,
and but they're still the biggest in the world, so you obviously have a lot of pressure going in. And I would not like to be the CEO or the boss of Diecast Masters because he has a lot to answer for if something goes wrong.
yep, he definitely does.
They made it definitely a bold statement. I think me and Tommy said this. They made a bold statement by announcing what was it like something like 20 new castings or something like that.
Yeah, you guys did say that.
it was a bold statement saying we're going to be on top of it and release as many new castings as possible. I mean, I don't even think NZG releases that many new castings a year. They announced that many new models, but most of them are repaints.
Yeah, a lot of them are livery models, so
I mean,
you can't really count that as a new cast. It's not new tooling; it's just new paint.
exactly. And I'm actually looking forward to them, Diecast Masters, actually releasing a 336F. And in that case, really the only real difference that they'd have to change is maybe the engine cover.
Yeah,
I mean, they could tweak like a perfect example with the 336Es. They can make a few tweaks and paint the side box yellow, and boom, it's a 336F. It's a whole different model. It's based
yeah,
off the same casting, yes, but there are differences, and people will buy it.
yeah. It's a shame actually that this they're finally making a 349 this year when all the years that they didn't make a 345. Like, but yeah, sure they made the 345 material handler, but that doesn't really count.
Let's put it this way. I mean, Northcott, the guys who did have the cat license prior to Diecast Masters having it in last September, or receiving it last September. Just a little recap for those of you that are a little bit behind or you're new to this. Pretty much, Northcott, they missed so many opportunities with so many models.
Well, it's true, but doesn't that just fall back on what Cat would approve them for?
Well, yeah, in a way, yes, but really, it's more of, and this is actually a pretty much confirmed dynamic, is that Cat would want that model done, and Northcott would do it. Like Northcott didn't come up with anything on their own.
Yeah, okay, right on. I got you.
So and they just wait for Caterpillar to bark something at them. And Tonkin gave that approach of, here's a model that we want to do. Do you approve of it? They came up front and said, we want to do this
Yeah,
model. It's up to you to approve it. And that's why we've seen stuff like the
and
forestry
they pretty
machines.
much knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, exactly. I
The
mean,
568s for sure.
now there was some quality control issues at first, but again, every manufacturer's had their hiccups at the first.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you don't expect, for instance, the hoverboards. I mean, they're brand new, and they have issues with like them catching on fire or something. But you know what? People are still going to buy them, and then a couple years from now, maybe that fire issue will be resolved, and we're going to have a second iteration of them.
yes,
And that's the same for when it comes to models, really. I mean, everybody has their issues at first. I mean, Tonkin had their quality control issues, but by the time that they sold their license rights, they pretty much had it under control.
mm-hmm.
So everybody has hiccups, and that
And
was the
that,
Achilles heel. Now, Northcott, their whole entire manufacturing process was the hiccup.
yeah,
Of course, I mean there are still they had their decent models. I mean the 336E, despite the bucket being a little bit weird, it was still a great model.
yeah,
It could have a couple more details, but it did look the part and it did look pretty good. Of course, then we get the CCM 349E, and that pretty much makes the Northcott model look like an Erdl.
oh, yeah, basically.
But I mean, what do you expect?
Well, I mean, just then that comes down to: do you want to pay $250? Do you want to pay a little over 100?
Yeah, well, a little under for us.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
It was about $99, so I mean, really about 100 or so.
yeah, for me it would be a little over 100 for the Canadian buyers.
Yeah, isn't the Canadian dollar unstable or something?
It's right now we're sitting about $38 more than you guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Like, that's like the difference. Like, if I'm buying something $99 US, I'm paying 138 for it roughly. So it's
But I mean, now I would love to see Diecast Masters put out more options. Like, I mean, look at CCM. They did two variations of the 349. You got the mass excavator and you got the quick coupler version. Like for the 335, it would be cool to see them put a thumb on one of them.
I agree.
I mean, a 02 excavator with a thumb does look pretty cool.
Oh yeah, It
But I would
does.
not imagine you'd be picking up very many heavy rocks, but
No, it's basically for like brush and
yeah,
trees
exactly. But
and
and
some.
then I'd love to see one with a quick coupler, but not go in the direction that many other manufacturers do and just include one bucket, but include several other attachments.
Yeah, that's something
And
that.
that would be a major sell point, really. They would make a shit ton of money if they included, attachments with a quick coupler or a thumb, or even a thumb with a quick coupler.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
also remember now, it's not that big of the deal anymore. Now that we have this new Shapeways thing,
that
which
is
is
true.
starting to become.
Very popular.
It is because it's amazing actually.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, like, it would be cool to have some die-cast attachments. Now, Shapeways is 3D printing,
yeah, exactly.
but, it's still pretty cool nonetheless. And, I'll have to check some of their stuff out.
And basically, you just gotta make sure you buy from the right seller, like nickel scale models.
Yes. I mean,
That has been a topic on the forum. I'm sure a lot of people on here read that the other day. So
and I mean, then there's this whole issue about copying attachments, and we're not going to say any names.
no, nor get really deep into the topic because I'm sure that'll be a
It,
good topic for another show.
it's a touchy topic almost.
And yeah, it kind of is as well. I agree.
I mean, let's put it this way: there's two sides to every story, and pretty much people like to say that they're always right with their side. I mean,
Yeah,
what happens happens, and you can't really help it. I mean, but let me put this in perspective. You most of these things are not copyrighted, so it's not illegal, but it's not morally right to copy them.
well, no, because you're the poor guys who spend all the time and money to build the original, and then someone makes it for cheap. You know,
Yeah,
it's that's basically what I gathered from it, and I agree. It really is wrong.
it is. It's not morally right, but yet at the same time, though, like legally they can't do anything about it because it's not
No,
copyrighted and they
yeah.
don't have patents on it or any of that.
Well, I know. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like I said, we're not going to dive too far into the topic.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, well,
But anyway, that'll float there, and if it comes up in another show, well, there you go.
yeah, and it probably will because I'm hoping to have someone on here eventually. I'm not going to say who, but yeah. Um,
It seems to be a big. It seems to be becoming quite the sizable topic lately because people seem to be taking more notice to the fact that it's going on. So,
yeah, and
but again, I'm not into any of the custom business at all, and I don't really know anybody that is very close. Besides for Sal used to, and he does scattered custom paint. But other than that, I really don't know anybody. I'm not into it enough. So
and really, like most of the time, we can just speculate on things, anyways.
yeah,
Like what Sal was going to do with that 340, do we know? No. We could guess, and we're guessing it'd probably be a repaint, and then by knowing the 340 like I do, guess that it's going to be a pain in the ass considering that everything's not screwed together, it's riveted in a very awkward manner. I mean, then
yeah,
the
yeah.
Tonka pieces were built like NZG almost because if you have NZG models, especially the older cat ones, how everything was riveted together and it's pretty much impossible to take apart.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be very fun to try to take apart one of those older NZG cats. I really don't.
I don't even see why anyone would want to in the first place. So
No, they're original and they're really awesome pieces to have.
yeah, of
So no, I wouldn't tear mine apart.
course, you never know anymore because some people these days, and I can say that because I've been around for a while.
Yeah,
We both have. I mean,
yeah, but you've been around more in the last few years, and I've been around just for a long term, but haven't really kept up with it as much.
yeah,
Not really my choice, but just the way life works.
and it is what it is.
Yeah, but I'm back, and
I, I gotta say this. The way she goes, the fucking way she goes.
yeah, pretty much.
Hopefully you guys get the reference. If you don't, you need to go to watch Netflix some more.
Some will, some won't.
You should. Trailer Park Boys is a funny show,
That is true. It is pretty funny.
and they also have heavy equipment in there, believe it or not.
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the 420D. I can guess it was not an IT,
No.
but and then they also got one where like the trailer park supervisor tears down Julian's trailer with an excavator. It was a deer.
Hmm.
I believe it was a deer.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, so yeah, it's a good show. Go check it out. It's recommended. But anyways, so pretty much the plan for this season so far is by the end of the season we will have visuals. Now I will say this: do not. I know some of you people like to listen to my show while you're driving, and I'm going to say this: do not watch and drive. I've tried plopping my phone before watching a video on my dashboard and just like looking back and forth really fast. Trust me, it's not a good idea.
No, trust me. And from a truck driver's point of view, which I am, trust me, texting on the internet, videos, anything the like, anything distractive driving is not recommended because it makes our lives very stressful.
And that's the reason I really haven't done the visuals is because I've had people message me saying, "Hey, I love your show. I like to listen to it while I'm driving." And that's the thing, like the show's meant to be listened to. Like the visual thing would be really cool. Don't get me wrong, but also, I mean, people would
I
be tempted to look down while they're driving and it'd be distractive, and I don't want to be the cause for any accidents or anything.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, I you know,
So, anyways,
drive, just listen to it. And if you want
exactly.
to watch, if you can watch. But
Now, this topic came up in the Model News group chat. That's pretty much how all of us Model Newsians,
okay.
that's how we communicate, pretty much. And, going out of the old days of just private message, now we just got these giant ass group chats everywhere. And it does get quite a few messages, doesn't it, Tyler?
Yeah, a few. I've only been in it a few days, but
Only about 800 or so
it doesn't bother me
on a
because I'm not
slow
gonna
day. On a slow day.
count all the time, so it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. But it's nice at a minute so I can see what goes on and interact.
Yeah. But, anyways, this topic came up. Somebody asked, what's the difference between the 349F and the 352F? And we're going to have to stem back a ways. Go back to the old 345 series. Cat has a pattern of pretty much bringing out a new excavator every 3 generations. But also, they like to introduce the new excavator in the last generation of the previous model.
Hmm.
So, for example, we had the 345B, the 345C, and the 345D.
Exactly.
In the D series, we got Cat introduced the 349D, and
Hmm.
then we got the 349E, and then we got the 349F. And now that it's at its last iteration, yeah, they're introducing the 352, which will be the successor.
Yes.
Now, it is pretty typical of Cat to introduce a new excavator for that size every 3 years, like we said. But I mean, somebody asked what was the difference, and honestly, it's probably just more counterweight and a little bit more horsepower.
Yes.
And there was an argument about it, and someone thought that they knew everything about heavy equipment. Trust me, if you're one of those people that think you know everything about heavy equipment, you don't. There's certain people on YouTube that think they do. Not gonna say anything, but I think Tyler gets my drift.
I was ready to, but I'm not gonna either. So
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to push anybody's buttons on this show, but you can take a random guess.
yeah, just
There
leave
is an
it.
Instagram page called Ushy Dicks after it.
Okay.
I left it let her out on purpose. That actually sounds kind of funny, Ushy Dicks.
Yeah, that kind of does. But anyways, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Just. I'm just gonna leave my
But I
comment.
got I got nothing against Pushy Six.
No. Well. No.
A lot of people do, though. And the only reason I said what I did was because a lot of people say that he thinks he knows everything about it, and from an honest standpoint, nobody knows everything.
well, that is a valid point, but and no, you another thing I got to give the guy a little bit of credit. I mean, he does operate some sizable equipment, and I know the company Kidco in Alberta. They are a massive earth moving company, and he is quite lucky to have a job as an operator for them.
Hmm.
So
All credit to Scott.
got to give him a little bit of credit there. You can't bash him completely.
Yeah, exactly. And I've
And
talked to him, and he is
base,
a decent guy.
I'm gonna be honest. Basically, the only thing I don't like about his stuff actually is the music choice. That's probably one of the only things I really have a big problem with because I think rap and hip hop just doesn't associate with equipment and it
Gonna
doesn't
be in
grab
my
anybody's
doza. Gotta
attention.
be in my doza.
Yeah, no,
The
don't start.
D6 rap.
Yeah, I don't like. I just the music just doesn't do it for me. Was it a fantastic video? Well, obviously, but the the music just doesn't work. That's just my personal opinion.
And, like, let me be honest here. Some people will like the music. I mean, it's a given. But then there's other people that be like, oh no, you should put country music. Like, everybody has their preferences.
Exactly. There's
Honestly, I don't listen to country music because, like, usually it's about them drinking beer and then going home and banging a chicken and slap them in the face. But, I'd rather listen.
I agree. You
I'd rather
can't.
listen to rock or something like that.
If I was gonna put a video music on a video like that, it would be more of an instrumental. It wouldn't be like a country song with lyrics, and it
Eh,
also wouldn't be a rap song either. So But
everybody
anyways,
has
that's just getting off topic again. But
everybody has their
ev-
preferences. That's the
exactly, everyone
point.
has their opinion on Pushy Six, his videos, and his music choice.
And some
And
people just don't like him because they think he's an arrogant bastard. Really, he's not. He's not.
I've never met Scott. I don't know him.
I've talked to him on through Skype when he did the Antho Lucibello show. That actually kind of fits the Antho Lucibello.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, hopefully we're gonna bring him back, and he's trying to get Let's Stay 18.
Chris.
Yes, Chris. People like him. Some people hate him.
I used to hate him back in the day. I don't now.
Honestly, like he's never done anything to me, so I don't have a preference.
Nah, he makes good shit.
Yeah, and these guys are like really coming out with these drone concepts. Like, and it is a new way to get videos.
Oh man, like I love the first drone video I seen was Chris's drone video, and it was the dozer and the Volvo excavator working together.
There are some cool concepts, and I'd love to see where this goes. Me myself,
I really like it. I think the idea is fantastic, and
just don't get shot down.
Jason and Alex did one as well. The crane lifting the roof truss on the shed, and that was a fantastic video as well.
Yeah. Just here's the thing: do not crash your drone onto the White House lawn. Kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a big deal now. I've heard about the drones is they are making kind of a deal about it. You got to have they got to be registered.
Before you know it, we gotta have a license.
Well, it's gonna get to the point because it's actually kind of scary thinking about it. Right? There's people fly these drones around near airports, and you that's kind of self-explanatory right there.
I mean, also think about this though. Kids are gonna be kids and be stupid. Like you got the kids pointing laser pointers at airplanes.
Yeah,
If you have enough sense to stay away from places you're not supposed to go, sure it'd be cool to get an overhead shot, but you could get in trouble. So it's kind of common sense not to.
yeah.
It's
For
just like,
some perspective, who was about to be flying back and forth across the country like twice a month for work, that's yeah. Anything to do with planes and anything with messing around with it is it's very scary. It's a scary thought.
because just something as simple as pointing a laser pointer up in an airplane could be deadly. Because if the pilot gets blinded and he
Exactly.
cannot control the airplane, if he crashes that thing, you're responsible.
Yep.
And then, by the way, them planes do have black boxes, and the pilots do record everything that happens.
That is true.
So, you will be fucked.
Yep.
Tommy will
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
banging at your door and he will fucking kill you.
Yeah.
He'll come in your house with your Glock or with his Glock.
Drone usage is kind of like it's just got to be really monitored, and the users have to really be aware of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be restricted zones for flying drones. Like I think anywhere near an airport should be restricted.
Yeah.
Which it might come into law or eventually if these things get really popular or even bigger.
Yeah. But
So
but I will say this, common sense, everybody. By the way,
yeah,
guys, after the 24-hour show, I regard Tommy as maybe like the Chuck Norris of the community. I mean,
you
let's
don't
put it this way:
you don't really
if
give
you
everybody
fuck
the
up,
run. No.
Tommy's gonna come knocking at your door and he's gonna kill you. I'm just kidding. Tommy's a great guy.
Yeah, I
He,
was I was gonna say that take that in slight humor.
yeah,
Like I don't know Tommy personally. I don't know what he does. He's a very respectable guy and has a really respectable collection and account. And no, just take Kevin's stuff in slight humor.
yeah. Like I said, take most things I say with a grain of sand. And like the only
Exactly.
time I will be serious is when I go like, "All right, guys." On a serious note, that's the only time. But
Exactly.
on a serious note, yes, Tommy is a great guy, and if you're not already, go subscribe to the Diecast Emporium YouTube channel, Instagram, and all the other stuff, and be sure to check out Buffalo Road Imports.
Definitely.
Even though they're not legally sponsoring us, so I can still go promote other places now.
Yeah, well, either way, I 90% of my collection came from Buffalo Road Imports, so you know
And
they
and
serve
then
they serve us Canadian guys pretty well.
and then he also just got a model for very cheap from eBay.
The Ford backhoe.
I'm talking about
One.
you.
Oh me. Oh no, he beat me. Did you see that today?
You were going for that?
No, no, no.
Oh,
I
oh yes, he got that for like
he
three
got a model.
bucks,
He got the Ford backhoe for $3, and I got the North Scott Cat 45 545 grapple skidder for $5.
which still was a pretty good deal. I know that you was like blowing up my phone because you're so excited.
Well, I mean, mint in box, which the unboxing is going up tonight, by the way. Mint in box for the grapple version. And on the box when I got it, it had $60 taped to the box, but that's not what I paid.
Yeah,
So, anyways, no, eBay is a great place. Everybody knows that.
yeah. Well, it depends.
Well, I mean, you do get strokes of good luck.
Oh yeah,
And Sir Tommy would agree after scoring a model like that today for $3.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good spot to hunt around on eventually, kill some time, find a good deal.
By the way, this has absolutely nothing to do with construction, but North Korea says that they have successfully tested a hydrogen bomb.
North Korea.
The country run by a little sawed-off, pissed-off Asian midget.
Yes, yes, I know that. I'm just saying. I didn't hear you right, but yes, okay. Now I heard that on the news a little while ago, actually.
I mean,
Hey,
what's
they
the?
got beef. They got beef with you guys before they got beef with us.
Mm-hmm.
But it basically means they got beef with both of us, though, because you know how it works.
You don't mess with America or its hat.
Yeah, and you don't mess with his hat and not with it. So, you
So
know,
yeah,
it's basically vice versa.
because now we're not at war with Canada, and if you did not know, America did face the British, but they can't. But that's when the British controlled Canada in 1812.
Well, that wasn't yesterday, so you know.
It's just over 200 years ago.
Yeah. Anyways, Not going to get into politics or wars or history or anything like that, because I'd say people will probably, if any of those are listening, driving their cars, they'll probably fall asleep at the wheel. So
Yeah, that is true. Now, the holiday season is now over.
yes, it is.
If you still have your Christmas tree up, then you are lost.
That is true.
So pretty much, let me put it like this. There has been some good hit and miss deals over the holidays. One of the best ones that I could see was the NZG Cat 428C Baco on DHS for a grand total of $40, which is still a really good deal.
That's a good deal.
It's cheaper than the North Cat Bacos.
Yes, and another good, another good deal that some people took advantage of. I personally didn't, because I didn't know and I wasn't warned of it, and I ended up missing both of First Gear's sales that they had, and they were pretty good. The first one was really good.
The second one was not great. They really didn't have anything that I was interested in.
No, but the first one was great. It was, I mean, what was it, 50% off everything?
Yeah, only
Like,
if
I
they
mean,
would have had the
that's
dump
awesome.
trucks.
What's that?
Only if they would have had the dump trucks.
Yeah, I would have bought something though. Either way, like one of those 470 Komatsu loaders, or the 360 excavator that I really want.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm not worried anyway, because very soon in February, there's going to be quite the sizable unboxing going up when I get home. So just
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
But I mean, it is going to be really good to see that giant unboxing.
Yeah, well, I finally reached a lucky break in my life where it's come to the point where things are going to work out where I can, pay for the other expenses I have in life and be able to be involved in the hobby that I love. So it should be great.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah, well, definitely come, like, try my best to keep the videos coming, and I'm also going to try to get some, like, where I am going to be working in Alberta. If any of you guys didn't, if you guys heard that Kevin said there's something big going on in my life earlier, I did get a job in Alberta. So that is where Pushy Six works, where Ben teaches, um, Jason and Burnout work. You know, so it's basically a lot of big equipment up there and oil field stuff, and I'll be seeing bits and pieces. So
Now,
follow my Facebook and Instagram and my YouTube, and there should be some stuff eventually.
remember how I said at the beginning of the show that the views in this show are not are my views and not the group's? This is
Yeah.
one of those moments where that is very true.
Hmm.
We do not refer to Alex as Burnout. We refer to him as the one Canadian Mexican.
Ah, okay. Up to
Because,
you. I'm just trying to get people to
and let's
try
put in
be
the
able to explain who he is.
now I already had this episode recorded once, and the original title was "I'm not supposed to be politically correct." And if you've watched my show for a while, you know damn good well that's very much true.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't want to be politically correct. That means you're pretty much sucking ass.
Hmm. Yeah. But
I mean,
anyways.
I don't want to be politically correct. If you're politically correct, then,
Yeah, that's true.
everybody has those thoughts.
Yep.
Like, you have
It
to change
is.
your gender to become a brave person.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody knows who I was referring to, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And with the Mexican Canadian thing, you definitely summed it up. So,
And an asshole.
well, I haven't talked to him in a number of years. Actually, it's been at least 3 years since I talked to Alex.
Mm,
I'd like to. I'm probably gonna shoot him a message at some point, or when I get up there, even.
yeah, I don't want any
Oh
contact,
God,
so.
you can't say he's not funny.
He is.
Like he gets a laugh out of me pretty much most of the time. So, anyways,
But yeah, trying to think here.
she's getting pretty close to an hour there now.
By the way, guys, I will say this. If you are in the Indianapolis area, Certified Rental did not sponsor this show. I should have probably blurred out their logos. So if you have a Komatsu rental place called Certified Rental, yeah, go to them. Certified Rental, you owe me about $60. I'm keeping tabs on this, by the way. But yeah, that is a pretty nice though Komatsu PC 490 up there. I like how Komatsu actually has like a good breakup in the color. Like it's not all yellow like most cats these days.
No, I know what you mean.
The gray bucket and quick coupler actually do look pretty good.
I like Komatsu. A lot of companies here on the island go with Komatsu. There's a lot of new. There's one company that went and bought I think it was 20 brand new pieces for a job that they picked up for the hydro here. So there's quite a bit of it going around.
Of course, you got a brand new Komatsu model here recently yourself.
Yeah, I got the PC 210 that Universal Hobbies put out. One thing it looks outstanding. There's a lot of detail on the piece. I mean, it's actually probably one of the most detailed pieces I have, and I do have some pretty high quality pieces, but that one is just like everything is modeled, but the only downfall to it is it's extremely delicate. And I will have a review up of that, I think, in the next 2 days. I will have it done before I leave on Sunday. That is guaranteed 100%. So, yeah, just stay tuned for that.
Now, by the way, the there is still a sale going on diecastmodels.co,
That's true.
but everything is $45 instead of $25.
Yeah.
So, pretty much, if you want to get something, you'll have to pay quite a bit more.
Yeah.
That's all your fault. not your fault, but if you missed out, your problem. I actually
Yeah.
got
It's
my Oshkosh that I did the review or did do the review of since it's going up tonight. Um, I actually did get that the last hit that was on sale for $25. And for 25
yeah.
bucks, I cannot complain even though it was missing a few pieces.
Nah, you can't go wrong though.
Yeah, I mean for 25 bucks for an old TWH model.
For something TWH that went for something near 100 or over 100, anything you're gonna get, for $25, you really can't miss out there at all.
Now, a model I would not mind getting is the Conrad Case CX 250 C.
The newer one,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Now, honestly, I fucking hate the new case graphics.
I can't say I agree. I don't mind them.
I just don't like them. I like the older gen that we've seen for the
Yeah, I know what
longest
you
time.
mean. Like the 240Bs.
Yes,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I those actually looked pretty nice. I actually like those graphics. Now everybody knows that case isn't the best machine ever,
Yeah, no. Everybody got their own views.
but you know, let's face it. If you're starting out and you have a tight budget, case is not that bad.
No.
And and I must say, their backos are actually pretty decent.
I'm not. That's one piece of equipment I really never really cared too much for was the backhoe. So I don't have my own views. I don't really have many views on backhoes.
Now I've ran Cat. I ran a Cat 420F when E&B Paving had it here, and I
Yeah.
ran a Case 580, and the Cat was nice. I'll be
Hmm.
honest. I wasn't too fond of the joystick control, to be honest, because I wasn't adapted to it. I was more used to force stick, and if you don't know how to use force stick, then you're in the wrong field, buddy.
Yeah.
Because force stick is, and if you have your notebook out and you don't know how to use force stick, you better get it out and write this down. It's extend a hoe, boom, stick, bucket, and then you got your two outriggers.
Mhm.
It's not really that hard to figure it out. And it's actually, when you get in the motion of it, it's really easy. Just sometimes, like when you're first starting, and I'm saying this from experience, sometimes you get the extend-a-hoe and the boom. You sort of cross lever it, but that's no big problem. But also you got two foot pedals on the floor, and that controls your steer, or not your steer, your side or your shift.
Mhm.
Not side shift, but your swing. That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's just a little, hey, that's your how-to for the episode.
There you go.
Now then, what do you think about Tonkin rebranding the D6R, the D7, and putting it in military colors?
I don't like it. Okay. Um, I do have a few views. Okay, I do highly support the military colors because I like that. I like that model manufacturers have gone with that and done that because I mean it's very respectable and it's cool to see. But I don't agree with rebranding a D6 size model for a D7 because they are different.
And I mean, there's a noticeable size difference.
Yeah, yeah exactly, and I just really don't agree with it at all. So that's basically one thing I really don't like that Tonkin did. And you and Tommy said it in the in that episode that um that they're not bringing back Diecast Masters is not bringing back like the overseas branded pieces of equipment like the 340 and the 950G or the 950GC and the D6, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with that, you know, because well, for us American collectors anyway, right?
Wait, you said us American collectors.
Or North American collectors.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah. So it's that's my views on that. I was never really a fan of them
Now,
myself. I'm sure they were great models, so yes, but that's just I can't bring myself to buy something that I wouldn't normally see here. You know what I mean?
yeah, but let me say this. Norse got pulled it off because they took models like the 924G and they put it as a, what was it, 924H, because there's no real noticeable outside difference in the real machine.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was mostly interior stuff, like in the engine and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there was very small differences, and they could get away with that because, like I said, there was no differences, really.
Yeah, that's right.
But taking a D6 and rebranding it a D7, first of all, there is a size difference. There is a size difference.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Anybody will agree with that.
I mean, if you know anything about heavy equipment, you know a D6 is not a D7. But maybe
They
the
made to the two different doses. Nah, sorry. They made both dosers for a different purpose.
yeah.
So that just sums it up right there.
Yeah, and the D6 R it is a pretty small model.
Yeah, well, it's basically the same as a D6T, just with a straight blade, and it's not for the North American collector or the North American market.
The real machine is not for the North
Yes,
American.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
But I mean, let's put it this way. It is a nice model. I like how the tracks sag. It makes it, if you did not know anything about dozers, over time, the stress put on by the tracks makes them stretch out a little bit.
Mhm.
And so they start to sag after a while. And that's why, you'll hear people say with really, really saggy tracks, that machine's seen a lot of action and wear and tear and stuff. That's a pretty good telltale sign.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like how it's saggy. It adds a pretty good, cool effect to it.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
I would like to see somebody like weather one.
They probably will. I'm sure it's been if it's not been done already, it will be done.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking of Tonkin, they've announced their last two cat releases, and yes, they're still cranking out cat models. Besides the D7,
Yeah.
the first one was one that we've known about for quite some time. It's probably your favorite of their releases, the Skidder.
because I'm Canadian. But yes, I do want the 555. I am a huge fan of the 545 that Northscott put out. I like the size of the model, and I just like skidders. So I would like to see Tonkin release a skidder. I think it'd be great.
The 555D will be released by Tonkin here shortly.
Yeah, and that is limited to 1,000 pieces, correct?
I think it's yes. That's from what we've heard
Yeah, for now anyway.
from reputable sources.
Yes.
And then we also have the CT680 with the triaxle, and then you get the standard truck. It does look pretty good. A lot of people think it looks a lot better than the CT660.
I agree 100%. And I gotta say, that thing looks awesome. Um, I'm a truck fan. I'm a truck guy. I drive trucks for a living, and yeah, I really like the look of that. I will be getting the tandem and the triaxle version when they are released in red.
Yeah, and that's another good thing is that they're not in just the red and yellow that we've seen by Northscott. They're in a variety of different colors. You know,
That's a smart move.
you
Really
got
smart move.
a black, which is looks like it's a flat black.
Black would be my second choice. I like black a lot as well.
Now from the picture that we got from Tonkin Replicas, it's either a flat black or a gray because of the light hitting it. It could be either one.
Either way, it's not bad.
And then you got a cat yellow, a red,
Yeah.
a more lemon yellow. It's a very bright yellow. Then you got a little bit of a darker red. You get white and orange, which actually looks pretty cool.
The orange does look cool. Yep.
And,
Can't.
and then you get a dark blue, and I'd probably get the dark blue to go along with my Pete 379.
Yeah, well, see, that's like my fleet. My fleet has red and black trucks and trailers, so the red would go better off with me, or black.
Now there has been no announcement of a lowboy set, probably because, well, let's be honest, the lowboy that we got that we seen in the Diecast Masters, after the first wave of the trucks, everything will go towards Diecast Masters. So eventually these trucks will be distributed by Diecast Masters.
Yeah.
But they're also making the CT681, Diecast Masters is.
Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah.
But we have no formal announcements of just a lowboy set. Now there is sets with like the lowboy, the truck, and the trailer, or the truck, trailer, and a piece of equipment, but no just single-handed lowboy itself,
Hmm.
which is pretty obvious because, well, let's face it, they don't have a licensee, and and the only reason we got Trail King lowboys is because Northscat had the Trail King license, and they fulfilled both of their agreements, in one set. But we don't have that, and we just got a very generic, very crappy looking trailer.
Yeah, like I'm not too worried personally about the Little Boy set coming out because I plan on doing what I'm sure most collectors will end up doing anyway. They'll buy the trucks for whatever they are sold for, and then they'll probably end up attaching it to a sword. Well, now WSI Rogers Lowboy, and or a first gear Talbot.
Now, I really do highly doubt that we will, but I hope that those trucks come out with like the sword style fifth wheel. I mean, we're seeing manufacturers
Quit like
the
the little
clip.
yeah, you pull it with your finger and
Yeah.
get in there. Yeah, that is probably the best way to go with a fifth wheel.
I mean, honestly, we've seen Drake Collectibles do it. We've seen WSI before their little partnership with Sword.
Yes.
There's one more.
My mechanism broke actually on my WSI Western Star.
Mm.
The spring popped out. Surprise, surprise. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that.
He loves his Western Stars.
I do. Trust me, I do. But
He's Canadian.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
only, you know what's funny? Right after I started talking to Tyler on a regular basis, I seen my first ever Western Star truck.
I really didn't know they were that unpopular in the states. I had no idea.
So I'm warning you, if you start hanging out with Tyler, you're gonna start seeing Canadian stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
If you're talking equipment and truck wise, there's nothing wrong with that.
honestly, I'm being honest. I had never seen a Western Star before then. So yeah, it's the little curse right there.
Yep, that's it.
But I mean, I was glad though in the end because I did get the sword. It's not WSI. It may have a WSI box, but it's a sword.
Yeah, I hate those boxes, but
The box is like 10 steps down from what the sword packaging.
well, that's the problem, right? It kind of just
Yeah,
doesn't. It kind of like it doesn't make it seem as valuable when it's sitting in a clear plastic window instead of in like a huge expanded polystyrene trays inside of one box, inside of a cardboard box.
and the
Like
and even the outer box, like not the cardboard box, the sword branded box was really cool because it had that gunmetal gray and it had that really cool finish to it.
I know I love the black sword boxes, but I also when remember when the first run was released, the 3 axle version way back in the day, and those boxes were really cool because they actually had the graphics on them.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were nice.
and I mean WSI. I mean, I hope like in a way this partnership with Sword will, in the long run, will benefit the collector. I mean, it already has with the re-release of the 379 with Lowboy, which was a very popular model, and right now it is too.
Oh, I think it will always be.
But maybe WSI will help with the pickup trucks that we've been waiting years for.
Yeah, that is another thing. And there's one thing I would like to bring up. I was reading. I did do some research. I know that's not my job because I'm not a member of Model News, and you guys have your own guys for that. But I was researching a bit, and I did see that WSI mentioned that they are putting out. The goal is some 50 American truck and trailer combinations or something like that. I don't know if you
Yes,
have any knowledge on that.
yes, including re-releasing the Max,
Yeah, exactly.
the
I mean,
Sword Max
if we could
with
get
the.
that, that would be one of my other highly desired things to see in the model community would be to see more American trucks and more variety in American trucks and
Now,
trailers.
here's one thing I wonder: when the Max start to flow, will we see the fuel and lube trucks again?
Well, quite
Because
possibly.
because honestly, like I'd see the first wave being low boys in the trucks. I mean, and I said it before that if you were one of those people that bought the low boy right before they came out and paid a ridiculous price of like $500 or whatever, you should feel pretty stupid. First off,
Well, I'd be really angry.
but I
But if
mean,
we knew, you couldn't help it. Nobody really knew until it was announced.
but then you sort of kick yourself in the ass for. Of
Yeah, obviously you would, but there's nothing you could really do about it.
course, you know what? The announcement came at the perfect time because I was getting ready to buy one off of Buffalo Road Imports, and I think it's like $400.
Oh, the 4 axle.
Yes.
Yeah, they still had those on there, yeah, and they did have the price jacked up a bit.
And I was like considering it, but in the end, I came back to my senses and didn't.
Yeah, well, now you have the 3 axle, which would have been like you could have ended up paying like $800 for one.
Which is obviously a
Like
ridiculous
4 months
price.
ago, you could have paid like $300, or I mean, $800 for one, and now you only paid like 220 for yours.
It was 219, and it came in one day.
Yeah, so there you go, right?
It
Now, when they
shipped.
do release the next batch, I will be getting the 3 axle version as well in
Oh,
red.
and by the way, the Peterbilt 379 with Rogers Lowboy is $475.
Um,
So still a little bit expensive, and that's on Buffalo Road. Now
because
I
that's the original sword run. That's why.
yeah, but I will say this though. Um, I ordered mine on a Tuesday night, and they didn't process it until Wednesday. And this is actually right before. This was the week of Christmas, and I got it on Christmas Eve morning.
Mhm.
So props to FedEx because they did a pretty good job. I know JJ's going to send me a couple of angry messages saying no, fuck you, UPS is better. because he works at UPS. I'm sorry, bud, but FedEx won on this one.
Still got a bone to pick with him. He knows of a Canadian model dealer, and I really don't know of any up here, and that would help me out a lot because the stupid dealer, the dollar is just horrible. And if I could buy models up here, well, make it a lot easier for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you got like eBay.ca or something like that.
Well, that's the eBay that I use, eBay.ca, because that's what, well, it just comes up.
Of course,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Canadian version of American things.
Still, prices suck because it's still U.S. Because the products are still in the U.S. It's just they're done over in Canadian prices, which jack them up a lot.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really help it any.
Now, I will say this though: there is a lot of American things that Canada, well, they don't have it to a good extent. And you talked about it before we started recording, Canadian Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to explain that one.
Well, if there's any Canadian viewers on here, you know we have Canadian Netflix. And for you American viewers, there is a difference, and there is there is a pretty big difference in, like, we have substantially less amount of variety than what the American version of Netflix has. It's not that bad, but there is a lot of things that you don't get. And well, there is a cheat for that. A lot of us download Mozilla Firefox, and there's an add-on, and you can basically, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. But you can make the computer think you live in the States, and then have both.
Now, I refer to Mozilla Firefox as Mozzarella Firefox.
Well, it's close.
It is.
Yeah.
I know Joe would just say if this was K-Cup, what the fuck, Kevin?
Hang on, I just gotta check the. Okay, just be sure not to make this a 3-hour show again and make 2 parts, because I agree that's quite long.
But it was,
That was me rambling on because it was my first time interacting in the model community since, well, years ago.
And the first time interacting with me besides a 10-minute pre-call.
Exactly. Oh,
and
yeah,
about,
that's right. We did that right off the. Yeah, that's true. We
and
did
about
that
20
right.
minutes 20 minutes or so of messaging back and forth.
Yeah, so no wonder that turned into an hour and or 3 hours. But I mean, we're almost halfway at that point now. So
I think we're going to do a part 2.
up to you.
So I gotta make a quick little edit to the picture that you guys are seeing and put episode 1.2. But anyways, guys, we will return in the next episode.
Okay.